We just made it to the car wash. Today we're gonna be washing the engine bay on the XJ, and like the other XJ that you guys seen in the channel, we're gonna clean it with this oven cleaner stuff. Let me pop the hood and show you guys how it looks in there. So you can see that the hood is really dirty. There's oil right there because we had to top it off because of the leak. So we're gonna try to get all this cleaned out. We're just gonna spread this on there. Even the intake manifold is full of crap. So this is how the engine turned out. It's not 100% perfect, but it's way better than how it was. There was a lot of gunk. There's still a lot of gunk up there, but overall, look at that. There was a lot of dirt and stuff right there. All that came off. We got some of the engine block, a little bit of it off. So comes out pretty good with that oven cleaner. We try not to get this wet. Some sensors do get wet. The check engine light went on right now because the sensor got wet, but we're gonna let it go away by itself because it sputtered for a little bit. So we're gonna move the cars around and put this Jeep in the back so we can start removing the front axle. And we're gonna order all the stuff from Rock Auto right now: the rear main seal, the oil pan gasket, shocks, and all that. And then we'll just go ahead and start the process in a bit. So I'll put you guys back on right now. We were gonna start lifting up the Jeep to get the axle out, and we noticed this. I don't know how well you guys can see it. Camera doesn't want to focus, but basically this injector, the wires are touching right here, so it's creating a short. So we're gonna go ahead and fix this first before we even do the rear main seal, so we won't forget. Hopefully we could get away with just pulling the pins out, sliding some heat shrink on it, and then you know, just putting it back together. Shit, with all the heat in the engine bay, all this becomes brittle. Let me see if I can pull this off without breaking. We've been at it with the pick, and we can't see exactly how to remove the actual pins from the injectors. So we're gonna keep going at it, but we already kind of damaged the backside, which is not a big deal as long as the pins don't come out. But this injector has the same issue, or it's about to start having the same issue. You can see the wire exposed right there. Stupid camera doesn't want to focus. So we're gonna have to go injector by injector and check all these right now. Same issue. If we could find a tool on eBay and the pins and everything to crimp them, I guess we'll just go ahead and do new connectors on these, because I'm pretty sure whatever we find at the junkyard, if we were to go and look for these connectors, it would be the same thing. You know, they're all old and brittle. So I'm gonna check on eBay right now and see what I could find. Even this cable has a little bit of the wire exposed, which is not good, but it's not creating any short or anything. Alright, for now, let me get to this sticker. I don't know what it's for, but it's kind of been bugging me. We're gonna go ahead and remove this from the windshield. There you go. Put a little bit of WD-40 and then get that residue removed. And we are also going to be removing these 4x4 emblems. You could do it like this, or you could do it with the piece of fishing string or wire or whatever you want to call it. We checked on eBay and these connectors were 20 something, or like 20 bucks for 8. We found the same 8 on Amazon for like 11 bucks. We're gonna go ahead and order these. They're EV1 pigtail. All right, so we just ordered the pigtail for the injectors. They should be here, I think, tomorrow or the day after. We went ahead and cut the connectors off right there, as close as possible to the plastic, and we pulled off the insulation. So we have the tool right here to do that, and we did it on all 6 injectors. 2 of them I think were okay, but we just decided to replace all of them since you know, the plastic is already brittle and all that. We were supposed to do the rear main seal on this video, but we decided to adjust this first. So we're gonna do this, and then for the battery, we went ahead and pulled it out already. We pulled the cables off the terminal. We redid this already. We didn't show you guys because we were trying to get this done as fast as possible, but we crimped on a new lug since this was on this cable. Like I showed you before, they went from this cable to 2 wires and then to 1. So we just went ahead and removed it from here, and we crimped on the new lug. So that's gonna go straight to the battery terminal. And then this cable, it was routed through here and down there. So we went ahead and pulled it all the way through underneath everything, and we basically followed the original cable. And you can see how long this is. It's like super long. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it shorter, maybe like around here, and then we're gonna crimp on one of these lugs. So that'll be for the positive side. For the ground, it has this cable right here, which is not bad. We're just gonna go ahead and cut this terminal off, put some copper lugs on it. And then for the ground side, they did the same thing. They went from 1 cable to 2, and then to the thicker one. So we're gonna make a new, that's for the body. So we're gonna make a new body ground. We went ahead and wire wheeled the body right here where it bolts up to, so it could be a nice ground. So that's where we're at right now. So this is gonna get done, and then I'll show you guys, and then we'll go over to the injectors once they get here. The ground side is finished. We put the lug on the ground side, so I'll bolt it up. We're using these type terminals. We got these on eBay. I forgot how much, like 12 bucks I think for both of them. So positive and the ground. And then for the ground, we couldn't find another piece of wire for right now that was black for this side, the one for the body. So we used some of the positive wire from this one, and we bolted up to the terminal. Now for the power, so this one is done, and we were going to use this power cable, but the original one is long enough, as you can see. So we're just gonna throw on the copper lug that we have left, the last one, and bolt it up, and then we're gonna remove this one from here, and that should wrap up the battery terminals. We just finished installing the power cable to the starter, and we noticed that the oil pan isn't, I mean, it does have oil, it's just not, like, the oil leak is not coming from the oil pan area. It's mainly coming from this area. So I don't think it's the rear main seal that's leaking or the oil pan gasket. We think that it's the O-rings from the oil filter adapter, the little bracket right there. We've had the same issue with the previous Jeep, the one that we lowered. That was causing a pretty big oil leak, and we think it's the same thing on this Jeep. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that. If it's just the O-rings on that adapter, it's gonna save us a ton of time from removing the front axle and all that and doing the rear main seal. Eventually we know that this rear main seal is gonna go out and it's gonna start leaking, but at least for now, if we're able to get away with just replacing that, meanwhile we get everything else situated, and then we'll go ahead and, you know, do the oil pan gasket and the rear main seal. So let me get a Torx bit. It's a pretty big Torx bit, and it goes on this end right here. And I'm actually gonna put a jack stand underneath this Jeep so we could lower the control arm, because we have it on the jack right here from the differential. We put the Jeep on jack stands. We're gonna drain the oil because we're gonna remove the filter. Might as well do the oil change now. The filter's gonna have to come off. We have the socket on there. We're gonna have to figure out a way to remove it because it's really tight down there. So we're probably gonna end up putting like some vice grips or something up here and trying to turn it to break it loose once we remove the filter. We were finally able to get the adapter off. It took some force to actually break this loose. So you can see the O-ring is right here. We're gonna clean it up with some gasoline to get all this gunk off. Then we're gonna throw in the new seals. This is the part number that we picked up from the dealer. This was like 28 bucks, and it only comes with 3 O-rings, so that's pretty expensive. Velcro also has a O-ring kit for these, and this is way cheaper. But we didn't want to order again from Rock Auto and have us wait on it for a couple of days, so we just picked it up at the dealer. We're gonna use a pick to remove this. So you can see how stiff this is. It already cracked. So brittle. That's one. And then the bolt also has some O-rings on it. There's 2 right here and 3 right here. So let me go ahead and clean all this up, and then we'll throw the new O-rings on. And since there's only 3, you're gonna be able to tell. So this thinner one, this is the thinnest one in the pack, and then the thicker one is the thickest one. And we've seen online that you could actually delete this adapter. While we wait for the adapter to dry, since we did wash it with gasoline, we're going to solder these on. We just got them in the mail from Amazon. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw them on here like that. Probably gonna cut it to about there, solder it, and then we're going to throw some heat shrink on there. So on the old plugs, on the old connectors, all these green wires with the orange or pink, those were to the front of the engine. So for example, it would go here, this one would go on this one right here. So that's how we're gonna wire these up. There's only one way this connector could go on the injector. So it has this little metal clip. You push it and it opens up, so it could sit on the injector, and I'll lock it in place. Then when you take it off, you push it and you pull it out. So let's go ahead and solder all these plugs, pigtails, whatever you want to call them, and then we'll put you back on once the adapter's back in and these pigtails are wired up. we just finished soldering all the pigtails to the injectors, to the harness. They're all plugged in. And we also installed the oil filter adapter. So it's in there. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it's dark. It's getting dark already. So we're still waiting on the oil filter. We ordered wicks from Rock Auto. So we're waiting on that. We'll put the oil filter in and then we'll put oil in the engine. And we also bolted this bracket to get to the injectors. So we're gonna put that back on right now. It's just a couple of 10mm bolts. Took this tube that was over here and we matched it up with some rubber hose in the back. And we got a tube which was only $4. The oil filter just came in. It's the Wix XP. This is the part number. So we're gonna go ahead and fill it up with some oil. And this is the oil that we went with. High mileage 1030 from Pennzoil. Now that we have the oil filter in, we're going to top it off with 5 quarts of the same oil. This engine takes 6 quarts. We're going to put the rest in here and then we're going to do the big 5-quart jug. Well, that's it for this video. We installed different battery terminals. We redid the wiring for the ground and the positive. We installed the new oil filter, new oil filter adapter O-rings, and what else? Oh, and the injector pigtails. We're gonna go ahead and turn it on for you guys. So it's running really smooth. Next, we're going to go ahead and do the spark plug wires, air intake, clean out the throttle body and all that. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Yonke_OXC Films. I'll leave that in the description down below, and we'll catch you in the next one.